This gramophone is estimated by a Cupples house worker to be circa 1915. I assume the gramophone was donated because it was invented in the late 1890s after Samuel Cupples would have lived in his house. The gramophone is in good shape with all parts intact and the exterior showing no signs of damage. The brand name of this record player is Edison, referring to inventor Thomas Edison, who was a leading producer of sound technologies in the 19th century. This gramophone is contained within a wooden cabinet to make it more visually appealing as a piece of furniture. The front of the cabinet opens, revealing a storage of records that are fragile but still usable. On special occasions at the Samuel Cupples house, the gramophone is played for guests, accentuating how great its current condition is. The first contraption designed to record sound vibrations was the phonautograph. Frenchman Leon Scott designed it in 1857 to capture sound movements in a physical form. The phonautograph consisted of a barrel made from a solid material such as plaster of Paris, a flexible membrane that was stretched over the small end of the barrel, a stylus that was attached to the flexible membrane, a smoked carbon cylinder where the stylus rested, and a rudimentary hand crank used to power the machine. When the sound traveled through the barrel, it caused the flexible membrane to vibrate, which moved the stylus, capturing the movements on the smoked cylinder. Sound quality was very low at this point, and no one knew about Scott's invention yet. In 1877, Thomas Edison was working to improve the telegraph and its speed of transmission when he had a revelation. The technology used in the phonautograph could be applied to repeat the human voice and other sounds. 1 year later, Edison finished creating a new device, the phonograph. Some key changes for the phonograph included covering the rotating cylinder with tinfoil, a much sturdier material for capturing sound, making the rotating cylinders from wax so they would last longer, producing the barrels from rubber and other more effective materials to better amplify sound, and replacing the hand crank with a spring motor. These all improved the fidelity of recordings and made the listening experience more leisurely, aspects that were not present in the phonautograph. Edison initially made the phonograph with no purpose in mind, but it held promise in many areas, especially record-keeping, education, music, and entertainment. The phonograph could also be used to edit recordings, but still had a substantial loss of quality when replayed. The public called for Edison to make changes to his design. Edison instead worked on the incandescent light bulb for around 10 years. When he returned to the phonograph, he had a goal in mind, making it into a business machine. This did not pan out as well as hoped, but out of failure rose a success. A local dealer equipped a phonograph with a coin mechanism that played a song through headphones to the customer. This was an instant hit with the public, and in 1896 the phonograph was offered for general sale. The boundary between public and private life became less distinct. Most musical performances before that time were by public bands or family members in small private gatherings. As Bronte says, our pleasure was increased by the arrival of the Gimmerton Band, mustering 15 strong. A trumpet, a trombone, clarionets, bassoons, French horns, and a bass viol besides singers. They go the rounds of all the respectable houses and receive contributions every Christmas, and we esteemed it a first-rate treat to hear them. With the dawn of the phonograph, professional musicians could be heard everywhere. The phonograph exposed listeners to a wider variety of instruments and styles than before. More importantly, it allowed people to make and listen to their own recordings, transforming the phonograph into an instrument of its own. By 1900, the phonograph was a staple item of furniture in the home. Phonograph recordings pervaded more than the homes and minds of the public. They also came up in many novels and literary texts. References to the phonograph were made by such names as Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, Jules Verne, Bram Stoker, and Mark Twain. Many writers, Mark Twain in particular, criticized the phonograph for its low quality and disembodied sound. yet it continued to increase in popularity around the world. The first gramophone record player and flat disc records were invented in the late 1880s by German Emilie Berliner, but did not become popular for another 10 years. Consumers began to see that the gramophone discs were easier to store and handle than phonograph cylinders. Edison saw this new competition appear and made his own gramophone with some added innovations. The Edison gramophone, which is the item in the Cupples house, was different from the phonograph because it had flat disc records rather than cylinders, and higher quality needle points and mouthpieces to improve durability of parts and increase listening quality. Edison marketed the gramophone to the public as an entertainment device that had better quality than the phonograph. Between 1915 and 1920, Edison's company displayed over 4,000 tone test audiences. The tone test consisted of a gramophone playing next to a singer and alternating back and forth between them, emphasizing how little they varied. Over 2 million audience members heard these tests, promoting public perception of the gramophone. This was a success, and it replaced the phonograph in homes. Unfortunately, the radio came to be popular in 1925 and ousted the gramophone as America's top choice for music listening. The public appreciated the new technology of the radio in addition to the energy and variety that the radio presented. Today, the record player is still actively used and is one of the most enduring music technologies. This gramophone is located in the second floor hallway of the Cupples house, a prime location. There is plenty of room in this area for viewers to gather around and admire its beauty. There are also many items on the second floor that you can look at while the gramophone plays records in the background. This gramophone is but one of many amazing items that can be found at the Samuel Cupples house on the St. Louis University campus.